I'd like to invite our first solidarity message, Martha Roth from Independent Jewish Voices. It's beautiful to see so many faces in Vancouver, and I think it will give comfort and inspiration to those who are struggling on the ground to see this support from across the world.
I'm representing Independent Jewish Voices, which is an organization of Jews, Canadian Jews, all across the country who are not on board with the Conservative Party's position of support for the Netanyahu government. We believe that our interests, the true interests of the Israeli people as well as of all peoples, are consonant with the liberation of Palestine. We are a Palestinian solidarity organization. That's our second identity after independent Jewry. I am awed by the restraint of the Palestinians. They put up with daily violence, humiliation, and harassment. They and their children are targeted, beaten, shot, and jailed. And their legitimate grievances are not addressed in the world's courts. And now, in the face of extreme provocation, the Israelis' brazen seizing of Haram al-Sharaf, the Temple Mount, and the attempt to bar Muslims from the holy site of Al-Aqsa Mosque, I'm afraid I would advise my comrades to do far worse than the mostly young Palestinians of Jerusalem have done so far. As Lamis Andoni wrote 10 days ago in Al Jazeera, in the name of peace, Israel wages a daily war against the Palestinians. What we are witnessing in the West Bank and across the Gaza Strip is a continued national liberation struggle that needs to be fulfilled. They want an ordinary life, she wrote. But no ordinary life can be obtained without freedom. Unless the West acknowledges this reality, it is perpetuating injustice and acquiescing in Israeli crimes. And Daoud Kantan, a day or so later, wrote, "The escalating violence in Palestine is mostly the outcome of a total absence of hope. Violence is the language of those who believe they have nothing to lose. It is beyond our power, those of us who support the Palestinian desire for freedom. It is beyond our power to offer hope to these young people. Yet, that is what we must do. We must stop acquiescing in Israeli crimes and do everything we can to persuade Canadian policymakers to treat Israel like any other country and hold it to account for its crimes against the Palestinian people. Only when the rich and powerful countries of the West cease their collaboration with Israeli war criminals, can Palestine ever be free." Thank you.
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Next up, I'd like to invite our comrade from Venezuela, Gisela, to give a few words of solidarity from Latin America.
Sure, thank you. So, well, I didn't prepare anything, but it doesn't take to prepare anything, especially when you're from Venezuela, to speak in solidarity with Palestine. On behalf of the Hugo Chavez Front, and of course of Venezuelans, young Venezuelans, I can say that our people and our governments will not rest until they have helped to see Palestine recognized as a nation. Just yesterday, our foreign minister was at the UN talking about how it's been almost 70 years of the Palestinians being denied of their right to self-determination, being denied of their right to being acknowledged as a nation, and especially almost 70 years of the Palestinians being massacred by the Zionist forces, not only military but also paramilitary. Definitely the Latin American people understand what occupation is, what an invasion is, and that's why we stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people, and we always will. Viva Palestina libre!
Viva, viva Palestina!
Viva, viva Palestina!
Viva, viva Palestina!
Viva Palestina!
Next, I'd like to invite Hesed from Canada-Philippines Solidarity for Human Rights to give a message from another part of the world.
Hi, good afternoon. The Canada-Philippines Solidarity for Human Rights joins the international community in condemning, in no uncertain terms, Israel's intensifying ethnic cleansing and oppression of Palestinians, especially in occupied Jerusalem. The Israel's terrorist state has again shown that it does not recognize any law nor adhere to international norms when it carried out land grabbing and demolition of Palestinian homes, stepped up its racist attacks on the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, tightened the siege on Gaza, and implemented new racist measures against Palestinian citizens of Israel. The US-backed Israel government has long violated the rights of Palestinian people from the inhumane economic blockade and the large-scale destruction it inflicted on its genocidal war. Both the Israeli government and its chief backer, the United States government, are responsible for the continuing occupation and oppression of the Palestinian people. Only international public outrage, condemnation, and the people's version of economic sanctions will be decisive in isolating the fascist Israeli government. Force it to back down, break the blockade, and allow humanitarian aid to reach Gaza, and most importantly, uphold the right of the Palestinian people to their homeland. Free Palestine! Boycott Israel! The struggle continues. Long live international solidarity.
Thank you, Hesed. Long live international solidarity!
Long live international solidarity! Palestine will never die.
Haifa, Jaffa, don't you cry!
Haifa, Jaffa, don't you cry.
Palestine will never die!
Palestine will never die. Free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
I'd like to invite our next solidarity message from Danielle from the Vancouver in Solidarity with Ayotzinapa Committee.
Good afternoon, comrades. We are Vancouver Solidarity with Ayotzinapa. I'm going to speak on behalf of the 43 students missing in Mexico, the 43 students who disappeared by the Mexican government. We have one only struggle. We are fighting against fascist governments, as the Israel government, as the Mexican government who get sponsored by the United States. Governments, they want to put death before life in our communities. We want to say we are with you. We're going to be struggling with you. And we, as Latin Americans, we know when genocide become a reality. When genocide from the people from the upper class, this is what they want to put in front of us. Long life international solidarity. Viva la solidaridad internacional.
Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Ingrid. Viva, viva Palestina!
Viva Palestine!
Intifada, intifada!
Intifada! Intifada!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
I just want to encourage people. The call from Palestinians consistently over the last several years has been to strengthen and intensify the campaign of boycott, divestment, and sanctions. This is one tactic that we outside of Palestine can do to support the struggle for liberation. So as the BDS Vancouver committee, we have 2 active campaigns, and there's some information about them up here if you're interested. We have a campaign to boycott Air Canada based on its contract with Israeli government defense contractors who are now doing maintenance on Air Canada planes. The second one is we're building a campaign in Canada to boycott and divest from G4S. G4S is the largest security company in the world. It's the second largest private employer in the entire world, and they have huge operations here in Canada, which includes running immigration detention centers, providing security for tar sands and pipeline projects. So they're really about securing the world in the interests of the rich and the powerful and against those who resist and are seeking liberation, including in Palestine, where they have a major contract with the Israeli prison service and are running prisons where Palestinian children are tortured, where parliamentarians and political prisoners are held. So we're trying to build a campaign to boycott and divest from G4S. Please do take some materials and let us know, contact us about the campaign as we try to build this across the country.
Thank you for being here, and we are sure we're going to continue the struggle and the support work for the Palestinian people. And please stay informed